Hey everybody, it's me, Jen Wyatt, and welcome to Thursdays at 3. I am your productivity coach, and I come to you weekly to deliver tips, tricks, hacks, thoughts, mind shifts around our productivity and how we can be more productive or have better thinking around productivity. And today is no exception, so I'm going to dive right into our topic of today. And this week I wrote a blog called Tame the Summer Chaos. And you can go to my website and you can read that blog. It's great. It's got some just thoughts around what summer can do, because it's a time of, it's different from the rest of the school year, right? If you have kids in school. And if you don't, then, it's also different too, because we have more activities, we can be outside longer, there's more fun things to do, barbecues, that kind of stuff, and so it can wreak havoc on our schedule and our habits if we allow it, or we can be flexible and roll with it. But sometimes when we roll with things, we can very much feel like we're off target. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. And one of the things I brought up in my blog, and I won't spend the time talking about the blog, but I want to talk about this specific thing. And it's called minimum effective dose, or MED. And what I explained in my blog, and there's a fitness expert that used this thought around the products he delivered, and I just thought it was a great thing, and how it totally completely applies to our life in many other areas. And the minimum effective dose, or MED, is a pharmaceutical term, and basically it means that when we're taking medicine, that this is the minimal amount that you need to take to get the maximum effect. So if you can probably already see how that can really be applied to our daily lives and how we get things done. So to make room for what we want, we can't take on too much. So what my challenge is to everyone who listens either live or who is going to watch the replay is, what is your minimum effective dose in various areas of your life? What are you taking on too much of? What do you need to make room for? Like for me, I have some changes that I'm going to be doing to my programs, and in order to make room for the new programs, I have to think about, and I've been journaling about, and journaling is like my go-to way to figure things out. So you'll hear me talk about that a lot. You'll hear me encourage it. So if you're a journaler, then yay. If you're not, then, whatever way that you think through things and whatever way you help kind of process your decisions, then do that, use that process. But I was journaling around, what, if I want to add this, what is it going to look like in my schedule, in my life? How's that going to impact all the different things? And it's one of the things that we don't think about a whole lot, because we live in a very more is more society, and less is more, right, is a phrase that you've heard before, but really it's a way of thinking, because if you're a minimalist, that's their whole basis for what they do. Less is more, so what can I remove from my life? And this minimum effective dose actually fits into that. I'm not a card carrying minimalist, but I do practice a lot of minimalist things, because it helps keep things in control, right? Not that we can be in 100% control of everything, and not that I want to live my life as a perfectionist or a control freak, but when you pile on more and more and more, it gets harder to manage all those things. It gets harder to do well in any one thing. It's like that expression, jack of all trades, master of none. And I used to call myself that in the business world, because I could multitask and I could do all these things. But what it really came down to was I could do a lot of things in rapid succession. And so, again, it has to do with having an organized thought process. But it's not good for me to be a jack of all trades, master of none, because then I'm watering down, really, and I've talked about this before, watering down the one or two things that I'm doing, and causing everything to be kind of a half or a quarter of, like being on your phone while watching TV with your family. Now, if you're on your phone and you're watching TV, your brain is split between two things, and so you can't do both. Or sometimes we do it to ourselves, where we have 5 friends that are having a party each on the same day. So we spend 30 minutes to one and jump to the next, and then, with all the travel time, you're really only spending a little bit in each one. And I understand, and there's been times when I wanted to say hi to somebody, but again, where's the quality in that? Life really should be about how we want to live it, and how we have that quality, that the room, really, because I see quality as a room, like it's making room for all those things. I said that earlier, but that's what that quality is to me, and it means something different to everyone. I mean, we should do all things in excellence, and we should always try to put our best foot forward, and but sometimes in order to feel like we're moving in excellence, or being successful, or we're putting our best foot forward, we pile in all the things. So we really, at the end of the day, didn't really spend or dive deep into any one thing. We just kind of went across the surface. And I think that can happen to us a lot when we are looking at the maximum effective dose. We're taking it all in and saying, yes, to be successful, or to feel like this was worth it, then I'm going to, do all these things and spend 5 minutes in each one. And really, it's a minimum effective dose. So I challenge you today to think about what you need to make room for in your life. Is it your family? Is it your kids? Is it developing your business? Is it developing a business? Is it working on a promotion? Again, when I talked about balance last week, it's not about having equal amounts of time in every single area of our life. It's about recognizing that right now I need to put this much time in this area, and this is where I need to spend my time. Knowing that in 1 week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, that we could swing back around and spend more time in another area. And again, we're not neglecting anything. We're just making room for those pockets of time, and then recalibrating and knowing that we can, move into this next thing, and that's okay too. We're not being less over here. We're making room for those things. We are creating the space for those things. We're being intentional about those things, as opposed to it being random. Like, I feel at my worst when things feel random. Like I'm, walking down the hall in an office, and this person's telling me this, and this person's telling me this, and this person's telling me this. And then I try to sit down to work, and I have a knock on my door, and my phone starts ringing, and Facebook starts alerting me, and all these things, right? And it makes me feel a little crazy, not because I want to control all these things, but I want to be able to have the minimal amount of distractions so I can really, really focus, or even have no distractions so I can really, really focus on the one thing that I want to accomplish. So, what can you make room for? Think about your summer schedule. Think about the things that you're doing. Think about what you do on the weekends. One of the things I brought up in the blog was oftentimes we work so hard during the week, but then we think, oh, it's summer and my kids should have this great thing, and what are they gonna write about in their journal when they're adult about how we spent the summer? And so we jam pack road trips and beach trips and movies and barbecues and all these things into 1 or 2 days, and then we start Monday completely exhausted. What would it look like if you picked one thing? What would it look like if you just had a family movie night or a family game night, and like yesterday was the 4th of July, and it was pouring down rain here. I live in Florida, and if you're on the coast, beautiful sunny hot weather. It was pretty hot where I was, about 40 minutes from the coast, but it was pouring down rain, and we had planned to barbecue outside, and we had planned to go swimming, and we had all these things. And I made my family laugh because we were getting in the pool that started to rain, and my son was like, well, are you gonna get in the pool? And I said, well, no, I don't want to go swimming in the rain. I might get wet. And we all laughed, but we had some thunder and lightning happening, so it wasn't really safe for us to be in the water. But instead of feeling like, oh, it's ruined because we didn't get to do this one thing on the 4th of July, we recalibrated. We spent the afternoon playing Operation. We played Catchphrase, which is one of our family's favorite games, and we spent time together, and there wasn't really a plan. So when I talk about, oh, I don't like all these unplanned things, it was simply moving from one thing to another and having it not be an issue, having it be a time of fun and a time of peace. And time moved quickly in that space, and then we were able to go outside and have fireworks because it was dark. And that was fun because we made room for that. We could have said, no, we didn't get to do this, or maybe we tried to do it all in one thing. I hope I'm making sense. It's just what's in my heart right now, and I just feel like I need to share it. So hopefully anybody who's listening to this will see what I'm saying. If not, please ask me to explain more, because I kind of feel like I'm being all over the place with this. But the key thing is, if we look at our life and think of what's the minimum effective dose, meaning what is the minimum amount of effort, time, strategy, planning, whatever it is, for the maximum results, then do that. Because number one, it's less work, and there's nothing wrong with less work. Don't ever feel like you will be called lazy or a non-achiever if you do less work, but you're achieving the same or better results. That's smart. That is the way that we should do things, because not only will we have more free time, we'll have more time in our life and in our day and our week to really focus in on the important things, the things that make us happy, the things that we're supposed to do, our purpose. And then we have extra time to help others, to volunteer, to be of service, to activate that purpose in someone else. That's called intentional living. That's minimum effective dose. So before I go, I just want to say thanks for allowing me in your space. And if you need help taming this chaos, I've re-released my program, Being Barbie. And yes, it's kind of a funny name. Barbie isn't always seen as an icon of getting things done. She's seen more as an icon of other things. But for me, Barbie was always that she had it all, and she could do it all, and she was okay doing it all. And that was an amazing thing to me. And so I really felt like when I was planning this program, that was like the perfect title for it, because she had it all. She wore all these hats. She did all these things, and she did it beautifully, and she did it effectively. And she's 149 careers, I think. Don't quote me on that, because I could be wrong. It's somewhere, it's over 100, 120 or 140 careers. And yes, she is, a 17-inch plastic doll, and we are not. We are unique, and we have unique things that we are called to do in this life. But sometimes we lose what we need to do, what we are called to do, what we feel we should do, our one thing, our why. You can call it a bunch of different things, because our life has become filled with so many things that we just have simply forgot to take our minimum effective dose, right? Or maybe we were never taught. I was never taught that. My mom went to school most of my life, and growing up when I was in school, and that was a fabulous thing. I learned so much about hard work and effort, and how putting in time over 10 years, 12 years, putting in the time, she achieved this goal and was well known and well liked in her field, in our area. But she made room for that, and I never lacked anything growing up. I didn't lack time with her. She always had home-cooked meals because she could freeze them, and she would do all these things, and she made sure that we were taken care of and that we had, what we needed. So I learned that from her. I learned that it doesn't have to be all chaos. It can be work, and it can be playtime, and it can be joy, and it can be simply making room for what's important to achieve the things that we're called to do, and to not have chaos, to not have the constant feeling like we have to be all the things to all the people. And I've been talking about this a lot over the last, month, probably, if not more, because it's a huge passion for me to know that it's okay. It's okay to have a career. It's okay to have a business. It's okay. And to still have little ones, and to still have kids in school. I found that I've raised strong men who are achievers, who know what they want, and they know how to go get that, but they also know when they need help. They know when to call mom. They know when to call grandma. They know that, hey, I need help navigating this right now, and that's okay. And that's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing, because we can't always do everything by ourselves, because sometimes we can't see what's going on, like the expression, you can't see the forest through the trees, right? Well, what that really means is that sometimes we're so deep in it, and we're so emotionally tied to something, we can't tell where we need a solution. We can't tell where we need an extra pair of hands, or extra pair of eyes, or we need to hire a maid, or we need to hire whatever, right? And it's good to hire somebody, to have a mentor, to have a friend who can really help you navigate that. So that's why I designed Being Barbie, and it's available now. I put that in the comments. And again, no pressure. I never want any pressure on my site. I never want any pressure in my freebies. I never want any pressure in any content that I deliver, because I'm here to help you, and I have a business. So it's just that. It is what it is. But I can help you tame the chaos, and it's not a long-term program either. It's really very short. It's 90 minutes, and I'm offering, you can either do it 90 minutes all in one sitting, and sometimes you have that time, or you want to take a half-day business retreat, or add it to part of your full-day business retreat. If you take a retreat during the summer to plan for the fall, or if you're struggling with, there's so much to do this summer, help me design a plan for how to walk that out, how to live that out, or, my kids are going back to school, or whatever it is, there's no problem or project too big or too small to need help. If you need help navigating that, to tame the chaos, to help you sort it all out, that's what I'm here for. Again, you can either do it in 90 minutes or 3 30-minute sessions. It's flexible. It's for you. It's totally uniquely designed to be what you need it to be. And we'll get in, we'll do the work, and you'll be on your merry way with your checklist or roadmap, however you process that the best, or written in a day planner, or written on a calendar. However, again, we all learn differently. We all want to plan our days a little bit differently, and that's okay, because it helps us get things done. It helps us do it in our way, so we feel energized by that, not held down by, I can't do this process. So you're not going to be learning how to have a time management program. I will help you break out what you want to do, whether it's a big picture life thing, or I simply want to release a podcast or get promoted or whatever, anything. So the information for that will be in the comments. Again, it's a small amount of time. It's a very small price point, and I look forward to working with you. If you feel like it, again, totally no pressure, and I hope you have a great and productive day.